Well, here's my pull-on chainsaw. I got the oiler replaced. That was 13 bucks. And then in my messing around and reassembling this, I had all my fuel lines disintegrate. I just wanted to show you what this ethanol fuel does to fuel lines. All this is fuel lines, just totally disintegrated. And this saw is only a few years old. And this is fuel mixed with oil. I mean, straight fuel with no oil in it is even worse on rubber hoses. So thanks, government, for forcing us to put ethanol in our gas. It does nothing but destroy motors and make them run hotter. And ruins fuel lines, too. All right, let me see if I got enough in here to replace what I need. I don't know if I got the right size or not. I got to dig through my pile. I'll show you what I got if I get it back together. All right, there's my new fuel lines. And for those that don't know, there's a definite way you got to hook these fuel lines up. If your fuel lines have come off and you don't know where they go, the one on the top or on the end where the diaphragm is, that always goes to the fuel tank with a filter on it. The other one is sort of a return line, and it goes over to the suction side of this bulb. And if you don't know which side is the suction side, you do that, and you put your finger over one of these or the other, and whichever one sucks, of course, is the suction side. So the suction side goes below the diaphragm. This little black rubber here, that's the diaphragm inside here. And the suction side, actually, it's the return from the carburetor when it's running, and it puts the fuel back. Let's see. There's the return. It puts the unused fuel back in the tank, and there's the return right there. So basically the pressure side goes back to the tank, and the suction side goes to the connection that is not the diaphragm. The diaphragm always goes into the fuel tank. There we go. Into the fuel tank with a filter. Just thought I'd let you know. All right, I'm going to button this back up. I just happen to have all the fuel lines I needed. Good as new, or as good as a Poland can be, which is not really that good. But I have 3 chainsaws. I have a very small one that I use for limbing, and this I use for cutting smaller trees. And my next one that I got to fix is that big mama. It's a 24-inch bar. It's a steel, and I did something very stupid. I let fuel sit in it for a couple of years, so I'm dreading getting it out of there and seeing what I got to do to get it running. That's going to be the big job there. I know it's probably going to need fuel lines replaced and maybe a carburetor cleaning or some parts replaced. I'll get it open and have a look. I'm really lucky. I dumped the old gas out. I looked at the fuel lines. They've got the accordion style fuel lines. No leaks. And geez, a few pulls and it cranked right up, and I haven't touched this thing in about 4 years, and it had the old fuel in it. I feel guilty as hell leaving old fuel in it, but the last few years have been kind of hectic. Anyway, here's what it sounds like. That's a big one. It's heavy too, but it'll sure cut pretty much anything you'd want to cut down. Alright, there's my chainsaw saga. All my chainsaws are running. I show you my other little one, my home light, the one I use for limbing. I don't believe I showed you that one. And home light's a cheap brand, but man, this saw, it has just ran and ran and ran. And what I like about it is it's light enough where you can reach out with one hand. You know, like if you're up a tree hanging on for dear life, you can reach out and cut with it with one hand. Alrighty, I am good to go. Everything I own now runs, and runs good. That's a good feeling. Thanks for watching.